amounting to about 14.8 percentage point. And to shed more light about the recent COMESA summit, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Amani Asfour, a COMESA board member. Dr. Amani?
Yes, please.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine, thank you very much.
Dr. Amani, how do you read the theme of this year's summit of the COMESA, which was entitled Inclusive and Sustainable Industrialization?
Well, actually, inclusive sustainable industrialization is crucial for our African development and African dream of African Union 2063 Development Agenda, which is a prosperous, peaceful, integrated, intellectual Africa, driven by the citizens of Africa.
Yes.
Industrialization means adding value to our raw materials, meaning building the capacity of our human resources to be skilled in order to have a quality African product that we can really integrate with it. According to COMESA Trading with the World, our COMESA trading of the world with $232 billion, while we across the COMESA countries, we are only trading among each other with $22 billion, which makes only 8% of all the trade with the world.
Which is a minimal percentage, Dr. Amani.
Very minimal percentage. That's why during my opening statement, during the opening in front of the presidents and the heads of states in the COMESA summit, I declared the recommendations of our business forum that was held around the summit, with the presence of all the private sector from the COMESA region, the chambers of commerce, the manufacturing industries, the SMEs, and we exhibited our pilot program for strengthening our private sector in COMESA and empowering our SMEs through. We have trained already 480 SMEs within 6 countries within the COMESA region to meet the standards, the quality, and the certification of the international corporates and for exports. So what we need and across the summit is that I asked the heads of states to have to allocate some funds for and implementing the SME fund, which is for empowering our SMEs. I asked the heads of states to have a special percentage within the government procurement for the SMEs, including women and youth. And within our COMESA Business Council, our role is to advocate for the better legislation and enabling environment for our African private sector, and to train and build the capacity of SMEs to meet the international standards. And hence we have a complete African product that is meeting all the requirements and the standards, and we can trade among ourselves within the 19 countries.
Indeed.
One of the also important things is the development of our infrastructure within the railroads, within the network of roads. And that's why in my opening statement in front of the heads of states, I mentioned that I have inaugurated 2 weeks ago the last segment between Egypt and Sudan, and the inauguration of the land port of Argin, which would be very crucial to lowering the cost of the product, of the Egyptian product, going to the Egyptian product can go out from Egypt to Sudan, then to Ethiopia, then Kenya, then to all the Southern Africa, which goes with the program of the infrastructure development in Africa, or PIDA program, within the African Union. So all of the factors is gearing towards industrialization, is gearing towards value addition, is gearing towards having an African product that is already processed, and not only exporting our raw materials, but we have to process our raw materials with skilled labor that can really make a crucial difference within our industrialization agenda, within our sustainable development agenda.
Indeed. Dr. Amani, what is the significance here of Egypt's participation in the COMESA summit?
Well, Egypt's participation is very crucial because, as I mentioned, that for Egypt we have a lot of industrialized products that we need to export to the COMESA region, but not only that, but to transfer our scientific experience and our knowledge to our sisters and brothers within the COMESA region, and to see how we actually build the capacity of our African private sector and how we can increase our intra-COMESA trade. I know Egypt was represented by His Excellency Ibrahim Mehleb, the Special Advisor to the President, and by the Minister of Trade and Industry of Egypt, and myself as the voice of the private sector within the COMESA region, because the COMESA Business Council is the voice of the private sector and includes in the 19 countries the chambers of commerce, the private sector foundations, the manufacturers foundation, the industries union, which makes it actually the biggest regional economic community within Africa and constitutes the voice of the private sector, including SMEs on the ground.
Yes, indeed.
So our voice was well heard, because within the COMESA Treaty, the COMESA Business Council has a say to interact with the heads of state. And what we asked actually is really how we can make all the infrastructure development to make our SMEs, that how we can allocate funds for them, how we can train them, how we build their capacity. And for Egypt, we have a lot of experience that we can offer. We have a lot of scientific experience, because it's also about investment of science and technology to support our industrialization. So as Egypt has a very good experience and have a big scientific expertise, then it is a mandate for us as Egypt's participation to see how we can really add value to the raw materials and also make some joint ventures within the other private sector within COMESA and increase our exports to the COMESA region, which is huge. 480 million people, 19 countries. It's a huge export potential. And I think we have to do a lot to promote our intra-COMESA trade.
How can we do, what steps should be taken, Dr. Amani, to promote the trade with the COMESA state from Egypt today? What more steps should be taken?
Actually, we need more awareness. We need more awareness about how can we actually have the market intelligence within our COMESA region, because there is lack of knowledge about the COMESA market. And this actually what we do as COMESA Business Council, apart from the advocacy that we do with the heads of state and policy organs, we do actually membership services, which include linking and business linkages between businesses here in Egypt and other parts. Like, for instance, we are preparing now, I was in Madagascar, and there is a lot of opportunities, and we are preparing to have a mission from Madagascar business people coming to Egypt. Same with Rwanda, as we were attending the African Union Summit several months ago. We were preparing a mission to come from Rwanda to Egypt. There is a lot, actually, that we as private sector, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, to do awareness sessions to our private sector, to see how actually, also within the cargo, and that's why we have working groups now. We have working groups for logistics and transport, where we can actually give awareness to the truckers, to the cargo, to the shipments to companies. How can a truck goes from Egypt and goes directly with what is the required documents needed in order to go? And I think that's why the segment which was opened between Egypt and Sudan at the port, which is one-stop shop, to see how actually the truck can go from Egypt to the southern of Africa with what is the requirements needed, how can they pass the borders. We have also with a special what we call electronic tracking of shipments, which is actually now is trying to implement within the COMESA, and the yellow card, which is e-card, this yellow card that has actually all the information of what are the containers, what are the shipments, all the information about it, which can be traced and tracked within the COMESA borders, across the whole borders of the Africa, of the COMESA region. One also program that we are working on actually is to promote how to promote our intra-COMESA trade with reference to another working group for pharmaceutical industries, because In Egypt, we have 125 pharmaceutical industries, and we want really to export our pharmaceutical industries. So this is a new working group that I have established in order to see how we promote our pharmaceutical industries within the COMESA region.
Yes. Finally, Dr. Amani, what were the main resolutions adopted by the COMESA summit?
Well, actually, the COMESA summit has adopted the report that has been coming to it from the whole institutions, as the COMESA Business Council, as all the other institutions. But the main about industrialization is that the heads of states have already realized that without industrialization, there is no way of development. So the whole issue is really how can each head of each country can make enabling environment and change the laws in order to promote the industrialization agenda and the infrastructure agenda, and to support the small and medium enterprises that are present within the country, and add value within linking science, technology, innovation, entrepreneurship to support the SMEs and the industrialization agenda. This was with reference to the theme of the summit.
Indeed, Dr. Amani Asfour, the COMESA board member, thank you very much for your precious input, and we wish you all the success in all your efforts in Africa and for Egypt. Thank you very much, Dr. Amani. And now, our dear viewer, we will go to watch this report about the meetings of the COMESA, which was taking place in Madagascar with the more than 19 countries, which are the COMESA members participating in the summit of the COMESA in Madagascar. Shireen Adel reports.
Madagascar hosted delegations from 19 countries for the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa COMESA Summit. The theme of the summit focused on inclusive and sustainable industrialization. It is one way to help the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa countries to move away from relying on exportation of unprocessed primary commodities to processed products. Although trade among COMESA member countries increased to $22 billion in 2015, up from $3 billion recorded in 2000. Experts said that this would be even better if member states complied with value addition. In order to make the region earn premium prices from value addition, that was one of the major topics discussed during the 19th Heads of State Summit. The head of communications at the COMESA Secretariat said that top decision-making audience of COMESA discussed these challenges member states face in domesticating decisions taken by the Council of Ministers on the implementation of regional integration programs at the national and regional levels. COMESA, a free trade area giving customs opportunity between its members, gathers 19 member states. Madagascar is among the first COMESA countries which have reduced to 100% its customs tariff at regional level since the launch of the free trade area, the FTA, in 2000. COMESA supports Madagascar in agriculture, in climate change, as well as in the fight against maritime piracy and financial crime.
Well, with this report, we come to the end of this edition of Africa Today, where we were talking today about the 19th summit of the COMESA member states, which took place in Madagascar with the participation of His Excellency Engineer Ibrahim Mahlab, who represented Egypt at the COMESA summit. And of course, it was very important for Egypt to attend the summit, which was held under the theme of inclusive and sustainable industrialization, because the summit is representing a very important gathering for the COMESA member states in order to have more coordination for a better future for the economy in Africa. With this, we come to the end of our edition for today. I'm Mahiste Rabia signing off.